to our kitchen. I'm Steve, and joining me today is my wife Iris. And on this episode of Cooking with Love, we're going to be showing you how to make an old family favorite dish. It's from the Slovak side of the family. It's called chicken paprikash. This is a chicken stew with paprika. My grandmother used to make this for us growing up. My mother learned how to make it for my father, and my wife learned how to make it for me.
Yeah, the first time I ever even heard about it was through Steve's family, and it was a delicious dish, and then I learned how to cook it, and I tweaked the recipe slightly. I buy the chicken breast boneless and skinless instead of using a whole chicken. In the end, it saves time so that you don't have to fish out the bones. I've been making chicken paprikash for years now. Our children love it, and I found it to be a nice, easy dish that I could prepare in the morning when they were at school. Chicken paprikash always tastes much nicer when you cook it, let it sit, and then reheat it. I'm sure your family is just going to love it too.
All right, are you ready to get started?
All set.
Okay.
I have all the ingredients we will need to make chicken paprikash. The butter, the paprika, the salt, and the pepper. And then here is the chicken that's washed and cut into cubes. The onion and the sour cream. When the chicken paprikash is all done, I will show you how to make homemade dumplings. Okay, we're ready to start now. I turned the pot on to a little below medium. I'm putting the butter in, and we'll let that melt. Okay, the butter has melted, so now I'm going to add some onion. I usually do it in small batches, and once it starts to cook, then I add more. I'm doing some chicken, and once the chicken starts to turn white, then I'll add some more. So you can see the chicken is starting to turn white. So at this point, there's more room now on the bottom of the pot because it shrinks a tiny bit. And I'm going to just start adding more onion and more chicken. But I'm also going to add a little bit of salt. I never do too much salt because when you get your bowl of chicken paprikash, you can salt it and pepper it to your taste. And this way, if anyone has any salt issues, we don't have to worry. But we have to keep putting paprika in every time we add more. And you'll see as we go ahead. Okay. All the chicken and onion has been added, and it has sautéed, so we're ready to add the water. So I normally have boiling water ready, and you just pour it in until the chicken is all the way covered. Okay, it's going to need a little bit more. So now I let it simmer for a little bit, probably like a half hour, and then we'll come back and we'll add the sour cream. Okay, we're at the point where we're ready to start adding the sour cream. So if you can see, it's come to a boil. I have my temperature on low. Now I'm going to stir the sour cream in, and then I'll just keep repeating the process till I have all the sour cream in. and then it's just left to simmer. And every now and then I'll add more paprika. The salt and pepper I leave for the table for people to use at their own taste. All the sour cream has been added, and you can see it's diluted. So now we need to add more paprika, because you can see how light the soup part is. It should be like a salmon color. And then you can even add more to taste when it's in your bowl at the table. So now this will cook down a little bit, and while it's cooking down a little bit, we'll start to make the dumplings, and then the dumplings just get added, and then you just wait for time to eat. So now I have the ingredients for the dumplings. I have the eggs, the salt, the baking powder, water, and flour. So the first step is to take our flour and put it in the mixing bowl. And then I want the baking powder. Oops. And then the salt. And then I just mix that with the whisk so that the salt and the baking powder is mixed in with the flour. Okay. And now I'll start one egg at a time and break the egg and then put it in. Oops. You don't want to do that. And a little bit of water. And stir it up. Then add a little bit of water again. With the water, you just judge it by, your eye. Okay. Now the water and the eggs have all been added, and it's kind of like the consistency of like pancake batter. Okay, our pot of water has come to a boil. It was plain water with a little shake of salt. So now I'm going to, you can drop the batter in any way you like, but this is what I do, and when the dumpling is done, it rises to the top. So they're some will be a little bit stringy and some will be a little bit thicker, but that's all the fun of it. And they only take a second. So now what I do is I take my small strainer, I drop it in, now I'll stir the dumplings in a minute. I'm going to add more batter, but the dumplings will make the soup thicker. Whoops. And you can see how fast it cooks. I'll just give this a little stir. And it should be really delicious when it's done. Okay, you can see the finished chicken paprikash. It's thickened up nicely. There's the chunks of chicken and the dumplings. Some are stringy and some are big. So now it's ready to turn off the heat and let it simmer. I usually cover it and then reheat it just before your dinner. I hope you enjoy it as much as our family. Our chicken paprikash is finished, so now it's time for a taste test. Hopefully it's delicious.
I've been looking forward to this all day. Very good, Iris.
Thank you. And of course, you can add salt and pepper to taste. I usually use only a little bit of salt, and then you can add it on.
It's thickened up really nicely because of the dumplings that went in it. The chicken is very, very tender, and the paprika just adds a nice, sweet, smoky flavor to it, and a little bit of tang from the sour cream. Growing up, my grandmother always served this with rye bread, so I asked Iris to get us some rye bread today to go with it. Iris, I can taste the love it was cooked with.
So please enjoy it. When the children were growing up, it was a nice, easy meal that I could make while they were at school because it actually tastes better when you cook it, turn it off. What?
You keep doing this thing with your fingers. What are you doing with the... All right.
I just moved my... Okay.